So this is drop voicings. What was the difference between a block voicing and a drop voicing? Does anybody remember? You got it. One other way to fix a problematic block is to drop a note. Now, by definition, a drop voicing, generally speaking, will no longer be a block because you've now spread it out bigger than an octave. Because when I grab some note in the middle, move it down an octave, now the spread's too big to be an official block. Okay, does that make sense? And typically speaking, what ends up happening is you end up with a voicing that looks like a 5-plane, 9-plane. So when you do a drop, it's sort of, in a way, it's a way of converting one voicing into another kind of voicing. Okay? Now, as it says here, these ones are really simple. It says, create a drop voicing from the following block voicings. Remember that a drop 2 voicing lowers the second note down from the top, since the numbers go from top to bottom. Top to bottom. So this says C7, here's my voicing, and it says drop 2. Which note gets dropped? Top to bottom, drop 2. What's the second note down? The B flat. So everything about the voicing stays the same, but we took that note and dropped it. That's it. I mean, like, that's what you would do. You just, the other 3 notes stay the same, we just dropped it. Okay? This says drop 1, drop 3. Which 2 notes drop?
E flat.
Right? The E flat drops and? A, there you go. Yeah, there's no G in the chord. Yep. 1 and 3. Drop 2. Boop. Does that make sense? That's all it is. Okay? To be clear, the note that you drop, just for those of you who are really curious about this, remember how we want to have chord tones on the bottom of voicings? So we don't typically drop extensions, because then you'd have an extension on the bottom. So that's why this voicing we did a drop 1, drop 3, because it put the 3rd and the 7th on the bottom. But this one we dropped 2, because 2 is the 7th in that case. So that's why drop voicings can be a little confusing, because there's not really a rhyme or reason to which note we drop, because it has a lot to do with what it was before we dropped it. Okay? So let me keep going, because I think in 30 seconds I think I can finish this up. So correct the improper drop voicings. Remember, there should not be a second on the top of the voicing, and the bottom notes of a drop should be a chord tone, 1, 3, 5, or 7. So you see this one. Why is this drop bad? What's the problem with this drop? Well, now remember, we took a block and made a drop. So what note's on bottom right now of a C9 chord? What's on the bottom? That's a D. What is the D in a C9 chord? Which is called a 9. Are 9ths supposed to be on the bottom of chords? No. So we need to bring either a note down below that, or we need to put that note back up and bring something else down. See what I'm saying? So we got to swap a note. That's what makes that an improper drop. What's the problem with this drop? That's 5. That's fine to be on bottom. Nope. Drops can be bigger than an octave. That's not a problem. What can't you have on the top? Yeah, second on the top. So we need to drop an additional note to fix the voicing. Make sense? And so on and so forth. Number 3, create a block from the following voicing. The order of the notes in the block is not important. Just remember, we don't want a second on the top or spacing larger than an octave. So we're taking these drop voicings and we're making them into blocks. So just like when we had blocks and we turned them into drops, what are we doing? Yeah, we're just grabbing a note. See this note that's bigger than an octave that's spaced far apart? Whoop, we just take it up an octave. Then we'd have F, G, B, D. Does that one have a second on the top? Sorry, it's so poorly written. B and D, are they a second? Nope. Okay, that passes muster. F to D, is that smaller than an octave? All right, then the block is good. See what I mean? Simple, very straightforward, nothing that terribly complex. This one hopefully won't challenge anybody too hard if you just think about those rules. And you can see the rules are written on the top of the assignment. Okay, that's why I did that, because I really wanted you to keep looking back at it. All right, again, I'll post the video, I'll post the assignments, and I will see folks on Monday. Again.